There are many ways to access Automix in this amazing software. The first way is going to be if you press the DJ icon here and you're in modes, you could switch to the Automix view mode. So this is a view mode specifically made for Automix. It's limited with DJing features and abilities because it's meant to do it on its own and you don't have to do anything. So what you have here is an active waveforms. You could scratch with it. You could adjust with it. You could change the song. You could go to the next song and it will mix into the next song. It won't just play. It'll do a transition. And then this button here, you could view your playlist or select a different playlist. You need to have a playlist in order to use Automix, and that's what it's going to mix from. Next is going to be over here. This is where you're going to adjust things like the transitions and the durations, and then you could turn it on and off. So now Automix is off, but I'll show you a better way to go from Automix to non-Automix. That's a little bit more smoother. So here we have our features. You could start an Automix, and then, or you could choose your transitions. They add new transitions with the updates. Most recently, they added neural mix transitions. So if you choose this transition, let's say you choose echo, every time it does a transition, it's going to do echo. If you choose EQ, every time it does a transition, it's going to be EQ. What I would recommend doing to get it to sound more like a real DJ is to do automatic. Then it will use AI technology to choose which transition to do based on the genre, based on the song, based on the BPM and stuff like that. And it does really good most of the times. It sounds completely seamless. Next is duration. You could choose for it to be a certain amount of seconds or bars, but again, I would recommend choosing automatic, and it will automatically choose where to do the transitions. So it was on automatic for this song. So these white lines is where it's going to transition in, and then the one towards the end of the song is where it's going to transition out. So the software chose that as the best place to mix in and mix out. But sometimes it doesn't do the whole song. It'll do half the song, a quarter of the song, whatever it feels will be a good transition for the two songs. Next is tempo adjust. You could customize it. You could turn it off. But if you leave it on automatic, it'll transition the BPMs very smoothly. Next is song range, start and end. So start point automatic, end point automatic, so that you'll get those automatic lines where it's going to start and end. But this feature is really cool. Use custom defined start points and end points. So I'm just going to go out of the Automix section. So here we are in the song. So if I'm in Q, I could go here the slice, go down the skip, and then now I could set my start and end cue point. So every time I play this song, if I have that setting on, it's going to start the mix here, and then you could set where it's going to end. So if there's a place where you would mix if you were mixing yourself, then put the start cue point there and the end cue point there, and it's doing the same thing you would do, but you don't have to do it. And then also you could choose maximum song duration, because you're probably not going to want to have the whole song play if it's like a 10-minute, some songs are like 5-6 minutes. So choose a time where you would want the longest time for a song to be. I chose like 2 minutes and 30 seconds, but it's up to you and your style of DJing. So this is in the Automix section. But now if I go back to Pro mode, open my music selector over here, and then go all the way to the right here, we get a new bar at the bottom. And then now we could start an Automix right there. So you could be DJing in Pro mode and then seamlessly switch into an Automix. And then now that an Automix is playing, it's going to do the transition. But what's really cool is you can see the transition in the software happening in real time. So I have a lot of the features open. So let's see what it does. So it shows the transition, and what the AI was doing to do the transition actually happens on the screen. So you can see the transition, and then while it's in Automix, so Automix is on right now. So Automix is on. It's on Automix, so you don't have to do anything, and it's going to transition. But if you wanted to and you got bored, you can add samples. You can add effects, and it's not going to affect the Automix. So you could still be hands-on and DJing, and it will do the transitions for you. And what's really cool is that you saw the transition that it did on the screen. And if you connect your iPad to a TV or a projector, you could set it to mirror the screen, and then what's going on the Automix will actually be on the screen, and the audience can see it. It's really I think it's really cool. And if you want to learn how to connect your iPad into a TV or a projector, check out this video over here.